right now.
Right now at 8, 2 shootings just hours apart on the far east side, leaving one dead, another injured. The latest on both incidents. A mother arrested for an Amber Alert earlier in the week for her 3-year-old daughter. How authorities have found the parents and why Child Protective Services stepped in. And the latest on another arrest made in this case.
It is a nice start to our weekend, or Sunday rather. We are starting with plenty of sunshine. It's going to be a hot day, but in the week ahead, a rare Texas cool front to talk about. A sign that fall is just around the corner. Sarah, I love fall. Oh my gosh.
Love fall. I think everyone in South Texas loves fall because the summer, especially August, September,
brutal.
But
this August has really not been all that bad.
It hasn't. And good morning.
Thank you for
everyone waking up with us. It's 8 a.m. on your Sunday, August 24th. And for those that are visiting, and we have a lot of visitors, it is hot here all the time. But so when we don't get to triple digits,
it's like a victory.
It's a cool front almost.
And we're going to have a bit of a victory today. It's still going to be hot, but if you get out before noon, it won't be too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at temperatures. It's only in the 60s in the hill country this morning. Those higher elevations help out just a little bit, keeping things a smidge cooler. It's 10 degrees cooler in Kerrville than it is in San Antonio right now. It's 76. 73 in New Braunfels, 73 in Poteet, 71 in Uvalde. Today's forecast, yes, it is going to be hot. We're going to be up to 97. But again, that's in the afternoon hours. Before that, should feel okay outside. Plenty of sunshine for us. I want to show you highs across the temperatures rather across the nation. You can see that it's much cooler up to the north. We've got temperatures only near 50 degrees in the Dakotas, and we're even going to take a look farther north in Canada. Why the heck am I showing you Canadian temperatures? It's 37 in parts of Canada. I'm showing you this because this is that cold core of air that's going to be moving south and impacting parts of Texas. While we might not necessarily be this cool in San Antonio, we are going to see increased rain chances because of these cool Canadian temperatures. I'll have details coming up in a bit. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. New this morning, 2 shootings just hours apart, both happening not too far from each other on the far east side, literally across the highway from one another. One leaving one person dead and another injured. So let's go to that first shooting happening just after midnight. SAPD Chief William McManus tells us this started with reports of a stabbing just after midnight. 3 officers were called to a hotel on East Houston near I-10. Police say the person who called them answered the door of that Nights Inn hotel, and while they were talking to them, the suspect came up and made a threatening move. That's when all 3 officers fired their guns. That suspect died at the scene. Then about 4 hours later across I-10, what started as a fight in a nightclub parking lot turned into gunfire. At some point during the fight, someone pulled out a gun and a woman in her 20s was shot. She was sent to the hospital, and police tell us she is expected to be okay. But police search for the suspect in that area, but as of right now, they have not found the shooter.
I've committed no crime. Can somebody tell me why I'm being arrested? Can somebody tell me what my rights are?
So you just heard from a confused and handcuffed mother of 3-year-old Aurora Borosquez speaking after being taken into custody after an Amber Alert was issued for her daughter on Thursday. So this all started when Child Protective Services went to the 38-year-old's home, Amber Hevelin's, to remove Aurora from her custody on Thursday. However, when CPS got there, neither the daughter or the mother could be found. That led to that Amber Alert being issued. So yesterday afternoon, Bexar County Sheriff's deputies went back to Hevelin's home on the northeast side, where they found both mom and daughter. Hevelin was arrested for interference with child custody. Aurora was safely recovered. Now, BCSO tells us that CPS was removing Aurora due to concerns of drug use, neglect, and abuse. And this morning, we're learning that a man named Dustin Hevelin, the man you're seeing on your screen, was also arrested in charge with interfering with child custody. Police say Dustin admitted he lied to deputies about their whereabouts to protect Amber. Okay, a cat is recovering after it was shot with a pellet gun Friday evening. The Kerrville Police Department is investigating and needs your help solving this animal cruelty case. So police say the cat was shot by someone unknown between 8 and 10 p.m. at Royal Robles RV Park. That's near Royal Robles and Buena Vista Drives. So you can see those photos on your screen there. That's what police showed us, that the cat was shot in the face by that pellet gun. The shooting is being treated as a third-degree felony. So if you know anything about this animal cruelty case, police ask you to call them at that number. You see it on your screen there, 850-257-8181. A one-on-one interview with Governor Greg Abbott. He was back in the Hill Country to meet with families affected by the deadly floods and connect them to resources. All of the people he met in Ingram received checks from the Vaqueros del Mar Texas Flood Relief Fund. That foundation partners with George Strait and helped put on the Straight to the Heart concert benefit the end of July. So many of those checks people received for about $25,000. And he says it's his goal to help people rebuild as quickly as possible. Our Avery Everett spoke to Governor Abbott after the check presentation discussing state flood response, the special session, and the state's reaction to a new Texas law temporarily being blocked.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We've been tracking discussions at the county level here, at the city level, where, leaders are saying that they're considering to raise property taxes to address some of the costs that the communities here are facing. Is there anything that the state can do to step in to avoid citizens having to pay extra in the aftermath of this flood?
So first of all, I would tell you, with all the resources being provided by the state as well as by charitable organizations, I don't see any reason for them to raise property taxes. We don't want that to happen to the citizens here who've already suffered already because of these massive floods.
You spoke about the special session. I wanted to ask you about redistricting. I know the bill was passed through the Senate last night, likely coming to your desk very soon. In a conversation at a news conference you had earlier this week, you were asked about California. You called the state a joke. What makes California's redistricting plan different than the state of Texas?
For another, it's a joke because California is already heavily gerrymandered. There are hardly any Republican members of Congress there.
I've seen conversations at the national level talking about this redistricting battle, that this could set a dangerous precedent for partisan politics in the future. Do you share that concern?
It's all about politics, and that's what it has been every decade. What Texas is doing happens to be perfectly legal.
The last question I wanted to ask you. In San Antonio this past week, a federal judge decided to temporarily block a new Texas law that you signed that would require the 10 Commandments be posted in all public school classrooms. I wanted to hear what was your reaction to that?
I know it will be overturned. I was the Attorney General who argued at the United States Supreme Court in defense of the 10 Commandments monument displayed on the Texas Capitol grounds, and we won for a very simple reason. And that's for the same reason why in the United States Supreme Court the 10 Commandments are displayed 59 times. And that's because part of the 10 Commandments is the original law.
Thank you, Governor.
Sure.
Always good talking.
My pleasure.
That was an exclusive one-on-one. Thank you, Avery. The Texas Senate has approved a new congressional map ahead of the 2026 midterms. Now it's headed to Governor Greg Abbott for his signature. So redistricting in Texas has sparked a nationwide fight over congressional boundaries, and a new legal battle is underway. A lawsuit filed against Governor Abbott and Secretary of State Jane Nelson claims the new maps are racial discrimination. The 67-page complaint says the maps violate the U.S. Constitution's Equal Protection Clause by splitting majority-minority districts to favor Republicans. So this lawsuit follows similar challenges from LULAC against Texas redrawn maps back in 2021. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump took to Truth Social to praise Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick for helping create and pass the new congressional maps in the state house. Again, the legislation is expected to be signed into law soon by Governor Greg Abbott. It's 8:09 and 74 degrees. Need plans for your Sunday? We have you covered. Today's local events include family fun and live music.
Over here at the Makers Market at the Pearl, these vendors are getting ready for a busy day full of people coming through the area. We're going to be talking about conditions with local business and how it's being affected by world events coming up here on GMSA.
And we are looking at a sunny start to our Sunday. It is going to be hot. It'll feel like 100 degrees, but parts of Texas this week will only see highs in the 60s. I've got details on what that front will do for our weather coming up.
Happening now, vendors across San Antonio are setting up for the farmers market over at the Pearl District. Devin Karp is there now with a look at how businesses are being affected by the global economy. Devin, Sarah and I were just there. In between the break, we go to the coffee shop there to get our pastries. It was starting to build. More people out there now?
Yeah. Definitely more people out there. That's so funny. I just barely missed y'all. Yeah, over here, this is going to actually officially start over at 9 a.m. today for the Makers Market. It's a combination of a lot of local items like produce that you'd probably be used to seeing at some of these farmers markets. But there's also a lot of handcrafted goods. That includes things like printed T-shirts, different flowers, different types of, even if, as you can see here, some of these laser carved wood art and everything here. But a lot of that is also local. These are just some of the vendors from around San Antonio. The Pearl says that they take pride in making sure that there are a lot of local people around here that are coming in to fill this area with the goods. But one of the things that is helped by being local is you may not be affected as a business owner by so many tariffs. There are a lot of tariffs in place right now that are happening for the United States across the globe, impacting the items that people are getting in, including recent ones that is going to be eventually coming up here at next week, the end of the de minimis tariffs with exemptions, which would stop tariffs on anything that would be $800 or less coming into the United States in a smaller amount. But the good thing is when you are shopping local, a lot of that does not come into play with some of those prices depending on where the goods are sourced from. So coming up later on this morning on GMSA, we're going to be speaking with some of the businesses here about what they've been experiencing in market conditions. Overall, though, I will say so far it's a nice, cool-ish morning. I mean, you can definitely feel the humidity outside, but there's some good shade right now. Sun's not too far up yet, and you've still got some time to make it out to the Makers Market before it officially kicks off, even though there's plenty of vendors setting up behind me. Let me know if you guys want another coffee order or something. We'll see if I can bring it back to the station, but I'll send it back to y'all, Sarah's. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Devin, thank you so much. Have fun out there. All right, Summer Nights at the Rim. They're back bringing live music to San Antonio's newest open-air concert series. Today wraps up the series with Dos Parachos featuring Texas country favorites Kevin Fowler and Roger Krager. Oh, fun. Known for their rowdy set list, the duo promises an unforgettable night of sing-alongs, cold drinks, and food trucks. It's taking place at the former Rustic location that's inside the Rim Shopping Center. So doors open at 4 and kids 15 and under get in free. A link to reserve tickets can be found on our website. Just search Things to Do. And if you're looking for something more relaxing to do with the family, The Rock is hosting Superhero Sundays at Frost Plaza. Tonight, get ready to save Gotham City with a movie screening of The Batman at 6:30 p.m. It's free to attend with free parking. Just make sure you bring your own blankets and lawn chairs.
Sarah, I liked that. You almost did a Batman voice there. The Batman.
The Batman.
Do you like superhero movies? Kind of?
Kind of. Sometimes. Sometimes. I liked the Lego Batman. That was cute.
The Lego Batman was cute.
Sarah, for these events happening, it's still quite warm.
It still is.
Yeah.
I would say please exercise that heat precaution just because we are going to be close to 100 today, but it could be a lot worse. It was just last year around this time that we were dealing with temperatures 105, 106 degrees.
No bueno.
No, not at all. But as we head into the week, some people across Texas are going to struggle to get out of the 60s and 70s. Let's take a look outside right now. It's 76 in San Antonio as you're starting your day, 75 in New Braunfels. Bernie, Kerrville, the Hill Country, only in the 60s this morning. I'm sure it feels nice and refreshing waking up to temperatures in the 60s and those higher elevations. Otherwise, it is going to be a warm day for everybody. Mostly sunny out there right now. You'll notice a few more of those puffy cumulus clouds in the afternoon. There is a very small off chance that one or two of those cumulus clouds could produce a brief shower. That's why we have that 10% chance of rain, but that's still a 90% chance it's not going to rain in your backyard. Feeling like 100 degrees this afternoon, 97 for the high in San Antonio. Elsewhere, it'll be 98 in Del Rio, 99 in Laredo, 95 in Kerrville, starting off in the 60s, but still getting up into the mid-90s in Kerrville, 93 in Fredericksburg, 97 in New Braunfels. I'm showing you high temperatures across the nation because you can clearly see there's a divide. We've got temperatures well above 100 degrees out in Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas. But we've also got highs only in the 60s in the northern tier of the United States. This is that cold Canadian air that's going to be moving farther south than it usually does in late August. Usually these cool fronts will wash out nearer to the Great Lakes, but this cool front is going to sag farther south, actually make it into North Texas, so that by the afternoon on Tuesday, this is a look at the high temperatures on Tuesday. It's going to struggle to get out of the 50s in the Panhandle in August. That is pretty cool. Only getting up to 75 in Dallas, 76 in Tyler. Meanwhile, you can see here in San Antonio, we are still going to be hot. We're still going to be close to 100 degrees. That front is just not going to have enough oomph to make it to San Antonio. But what it is going to do is fire off a couple of downpours. And so Tuesday night and Wednesday, we've got about a 30% chance for rain. Now, that's not by far a guarantee for rainfall, but it is the highest rain chance over the next several days for us. Then, after that front, we're really going to be focused on the tropics. Tropical Storm Fernand did form in the last 24 hours or so, but it's going to stay east of Bermuda. It's going to stay out to sea. This is a lot smaller of a storm than Erin was, so it's not even going to be impacting rip currents on the east coast of the United States, just a storm for the fish. However, the next big thing we'll be watching is there's this area of disturbed weather in the Caribbean that has a very good chance of becoming our next named system because it's entering the very warm waters of the of the Caribbean and potentially eventually into the Gulf. We're looking at water temperatures in the upper 80s. That's bathtub water. And that is water that can fuel the development of tropical storms and hurricanes. So when could we have our next potential tropical storm? September 1st through September 3rd. That's early next week. Impacts to the Gulf are possible. We have to continue to stay up to date, though, because things can change. We're talking 7 to 10 days into the future. And if a storm gets going, potential landfall is still to be determined. It could be anywhere from northern Mexico all the way out toward Florida. We're going to talk more about those possibilities coming up in the next half hour of GMSA. Otherwise, again, it's going to be a hot week. Temperatures will take a little bit of a dip on Wednesday with highs only in the low 90s. And we do have that chance for rain. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Welcome back. The city's budget shapes the services and resources that we count on, and the city wants to hear your feedback about how the city plans on spending money. Tomorrow, there will be 2 town hall meetings, one at Memorial Community Center, another at Cuellar Community Center, both starting at 6:30 p.m. You can attend for free, but you'll need to sign up if you want to participate. It's 8:24, 76 degrees. Hundreds of kids and teens came together to break the silence on mental health. How a mental health conference is helping young people and adults openly talk about tough issues. Plus, where you can find free support and resources. And with education savings accounts now law in Texas, parents are expressing concerns how it can help their kids hear their worries and hopes for that new program. That's next. Good morning.
Happy Sunday, everyone. You got any plans for your Sunday?
My parents are in town.
Oh, that's wonderful. My dad is too.
Look at us.
Hey, parents.
Hi, parents.
Welcome to San Antonio.
Welcome. Sorry it's so hot.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be near 100 today, but the morning, it feels great out there this morning. Yeah, not too bad, especially in the hill country. We're waking up in the 60s, 68 in Kerrville. It's been in the 60s in Bernie and Comfort. It's 65 in Fredericksburg, but it's about 10 degrees hotter here in San Antonio. It's 76 right now this morning. Already 79 in New Braunfels, 73 in Del Rio, 77 in Eagle Pass. But here's a look at the forecast highs today. We're going to be close to 100 degrees. 97 in the Alamo City and in New Braunfels, 98 in Del Rio, 97 in Eagle Pass. Kerrville, you'll be at 95 in spite of starting in the 60s. And the good news is it's all downhill from here. And I mean temperatures. We're going to be looking at average temperatures falling very quickly here. By the start of October, our average highs will be in the 80s. So we're over that hump, as it were, for high temperatures in San Antonio. But today, as I mentioned, near 100, there's a small off chance for a stray shower, 10% chance in the afternoon. And then I also want to talk about a Texas cool front. So a rare Texas cool front is going to be moving through North Texas by about Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs will only be in the 60s for some folks. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get much cooler because of that front, but it is going to increase our rain chances. And then the first thing I want to talk about in the forecast is the tropics, because we're approaching the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, and just on time, there is the potential.
Hi, Sarah. Oh, hi. Hey, sorry, we didn't mean to cut Sarah off.
Okay, there's the potential there for some Gulf development in early September. I'll have those details with hopefully a little less glitches coming up in a bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sarah.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Okay. Changing gears. Are we ready? Okay, there we go. All right. Thanks, guys in the back. Y'all are doing great. All right, soon, Texas families will be able to pay for vouchers for private school tuition and other education benefits. Remember, this was a big thing last legislative session. Our Zaria Oates spoke with parents who attended an informational event about the educational savings bill, and many of these parents had different reasons for interest in these vouchers.
I have 3 children.
I have 2 kids.
These parents' kids all come from different educational backgrounds.
And they're in a charter school.
Private elementary school.
Our children go to a smaller school.
But they all have a similar goal, hoping to benefit from the Education Savings Account program that passed in the Texas legislature earlier this year. The program will provide state funding for private school tuition or homeschooling, or children with disabilities. Families would have to apply for their children once an application portal opens, and then students could receive $10,000 for private school tuition or up to $2,000 for homeschooled students. Students with disabilities will also be eligible for funding, but it's unclear exactly how much each student with a disability could receive.
So I think it's a great program that allows families to be able to leverage some additional resources in order to ensure that they can attend a school of their choice.
But some parents feel differently.
I do feel like it might level the playing field, but only so far.
That's because of just how expensive South Texas private schools are.
When you look at the private school going into high school, it doesn't cover much for like low-income families.
According to research we put together here at KSAT, many of the private schools here in Bexar County range from around $4,000 per year to as much as $34,000 per year, with some exceptions. Considering the roughly $10,000 private school students would get at the highest price point, that would still leave families having to pay about $24,000 in tuition.
Ultimately, we wish, the public school system in general be funded.
It concerns me when I feel that the whole education from early on is guided by a standardizing test.
Ultimately, this is a part of why she and other parents are interested in more information about the program. The School Discovery Network has been hosting these free town hall meetings about the Education Savings Program to help families figure out if the program is a good fit for them and how to move forward once the portal opens. The next town hall will be virtual on August 28th. I'm Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Zaria, thank you. Okay, hundreds of kids and teens gathered yesterday to destigmatize conversations about mental health. It all took place at the Pathways to Hope conference at the Tobin Center. The Conference of Nonprofits and Community Resources have been hosting the event for 10 years now, bringing together key stakeholders to talk about tough issues and what to do about them. Yesterday's topics focused on what young kids are seeing and how adults can help.
As an Asian American, culturally, I know mental health is so stigmatized in our community especially, and advocating for that was something that almost became a passion for me at the end of the year. I was constantly writing about it.
I think mental health is a topic that is so
variable today in society. A lot of people see it as a disability or an illness when instead it's just what we're feeling. So I think what Pathways to Hope does is it brings the aspect of communication and collaboration to our community. And I think that's one of the most important things.
The event has a list of free counseling and education, informational programs regarding mental health. We have all of those resources listed on our website, KSAT.com. Okay, in your health headlines, a new study finds childhood obesity rose during the pandemic. With more on that, here's ABC News' Olivia Rubin.
A new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that childhood obesity rates during the pandemic rose, especially for Black children and teens. The study examined rates of obesity in over 17,000 kids and teenagers from 2011 to 2023. Obesity was defined as a BMI at or above the 95th percentile for age and gender. Childhood obesity rates increased from 20.3% to 22%. This was particularly notable in Black youths, with a sharp rise in obesity during the pandemic from 22.4% to 35.8%. Researchers stated it's likely related to pandemic school closures, increased screen time, sleep disruptions, and a poorer quality in diet, among other factors. According to the CDC, 1 in 5 American children have obesity, which increases their risk for asthma, sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. With this Medical Minute, I'm Olivia Rubin.
Okay, the American Colleges of OBGYNs is recommending updating COVID-19 vaccines for pregnant and breastfeeding women, a different stance than what the CDC is stating. So the OBGYN group pointed to several studies showing the vaccines are safe and effective during pregnancy. This comes after the CDC announced in May that it would no longer recommend the COVID-19 vaccine for pregnant women and healthy children. Earlier this week, the American Academy of Pediatrics also reaffirmed their support for COVID-19 vaccines. Now to a recall alert, we're learning that the government recall of shrimp sold at Walmart is getting bigger. The Food and Drug Administration says Beaver Street Fisheries in Jacksonville, Florida is voluntarily recalling a limited amount of great value frozen raw shrimp. So what's the concern here? The shrimp may have contaminated with a radioactive isotope. Earlier this week, the FDA recalled other great value frozen shrimp that was imported. And just days ago, Southwind Foods in California also recalled some of its frozen shrimp for the same reason. So far, the FDA says no one has reported getting sick. So if you have any of these recalled products, the FDA recommends throwing them out or returning them to the store for a full refund. So what if I told you that by giving blood, you could win free concert tickets? Well, South Texas Blood and Tissue is making that happen this summer. Anyone who donates at one of their 9 donor centers can enter to win floor tickets to some of San Antonio's biggest shows. If you donate between August 24th and September 20th, you could win tickets to the Jonas Brothers concert. I'm gonna have to go donate blood. That's on the 18th of October. If you want to save lives and score an unforgettable night out, scan that QR code on your screen. So we have Maná and The Weeknd. The Weeknd's happening in September. Maná's also happening in September. And of course, the Jonas Brothers. So scan that QR code, donate your blood today, save a life, and maybe win some of these concert tickets. Very cool. 8:38, 76 degrees. How do waffles sound for breakfast? Pretty good. Well, it's National Waffle Day. We've got a sweet story behind it. Plus, artificial intelligence is proving useful when it comes to finding your missing pets, how it's helping owners reunite with their furry loved ones.
Over here at the Pearl, the Makers Market is kicking off this morning as lots of local businesses are setting up to sell some of their wares over to people coming through San Antonio. Coming up, we're taking a look at the local business conditions and how some of these are thriving while others are suffering some effects of some global economics.
It is National Waffle Day, and yet we still do not have a Waffle House in San Antonio, Sarah.
Are you team Waffle House?
I am absolutely.
I've never eaten at a Waffle House.
Smothered and covered. If you go to Waffle House, you know what I'm talking about. Let's have the details coming up.
Happening now, vendors across San Antonio setting up for the farmers market over at the Pearl District. We love this farmers market. Sarah Spivey and I were just there getting our coffee over at Local. Devin Karp is there now to look at how business is going. A lot of these vendors are all local, selling goods that they usually make. And Devin, are they being impacted by the global economy at this time?
Yeah, well, Sarah, right here, they are staying local, and that is able to help a lot, especially when you have goods that are made, sourced from Texas over here. Some of these cool designs over here from Dusty Saw Designs. I'm over here with Dusty himself. Good morning, man. How's it going?
Nice to meet you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having us here. So I know y'all have done a lot of work. How does it work with being able to stay so local? I know you said you guys are out here, every weekend, right?
We're here every Sunday, yeah. And we have a store down by the Stone Oak area as well.
Fantastic.
So it's 15 minutes away. It works out really well.
Yeah. How do you guys create all of this stuff here? I mean, it's some pretty cool designs you got in there.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. So my wife and I, we make everything you see. So we start from the design work all the way to the finished product. We design everything. If we take a photograph, as you see here, and it's all hand painted as well.
Yeah.
So, and all the materials we use is all sourced from the United States. So all the materials that we use is from the USA.
Is that been helping you guys? I mean, if it's from the U.S.,
Yes.
you know, like there's been a lot of businesses that are like dealing with tariffs from outside the country.
We don't. That's honestly, we don't deal with that.
Good.
Thank goodness. Yes. Yeah. So it's been a blessing in that sense for sure. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious. Do you have like a favorite piece or something you've done? I know that's like picking a favorite kid, hard to do.
I like this piece here.
Oh, here. Okay, hold on.
Here. Let me
All right.
grab it.
All right.
We did this one.
Wow.
For KSAT. So an example of how we take, this was SA Live's Fiesta Medal a year ago, and they reached out to us and said, hey, can you make us a wall art piece? So we do company logos, we do military pieces, we do we're full custom shop. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, hey, our medal I think looks pretty good. I might be a little biased.
Thank you.
know.
I appreciate
you guys
that.
did a great job. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dusty, for your time. I appreciate it this morning.
You guys have a great day.
Thank you. You too. We'll have a full story about this coming up later on here today on KSAT.com. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Look at that. Look at us. Thank you, Devin. That was so cool. Do you want to include Sarah on this story? Because she loves waffles and Waffle House. All right. Thinking about waffles this morning or breakfast, it's National Waffle Day, celebrating the patent of the first waffle iron 156 years ago. Waffles have been around way longer than that. The oldest waffle, how would they make waffles before though? The oldest waffle recipe dates back to the 14th century, written by an anonymous husband in France for his wife. That is love. That is a love language right there, making waffles for your wife. Back then, waffle batter even included wine. Making a waffle is simple. You just mix the leavened batter or dough and cook it between two patterned plates. Okay, so I can see how they did this back then.
Yeah, of course.
If you're feeling lazy, head to your favorite waffle spot. Sarah, I know what you said yours is going to be.
Waffle House, for sure. But here's the thing. There are no Waffle Houses in San Antonio, but I know for a fact that if they built one here, it would explode.
Build it and they will come.
They will come.
They will come.
And meaning me. I will go to the Waffle House. Hey, I want to start off the forecast with some good news, Sarah.
All right.
Okay, so yesterday and the day before, molds were high. Today, molds are moderate, so they're down from the last couple of days. This is a good trend. We want to see that continue. Now, today is going to be hot, near 100, with a small 10% chance for a stray afternoon rain. We will talk about a Texas cool front, rare for the end of August, and that'll bring us rain chances on Tuesday and Wednesday. But I want to start with the tropics because we could have potential Gulf development in early September. So we're looking forward the next 7 to 10 days. First, we've got to talk about Tropical Storm Fernand, which formed yesterday, got the name, but Fernand is east of Bermuda. It's going to stay out to sea. It is going to be a storm for the fish, not impacting anybody on land, including the East Coast, which had some rough rip currents from a much larger Hurricane Aaron. Fernand is going to stay out to sea. But the next big thing in the tropics is going to be this area of disturbed weather here just to the east of the Windward Islands. This is likely going to go into the very warm waters of the Caribbean. and could very well become our next tropical system with a name. Perhaps a tropical storm, perhaps a hurricane. But what we can say right now is by about Sunday, August 31st, so a week from today, there's likely going to be a low pressure system near the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, beyond next Sunday, we're talking September 1st, 2nd, 3rd. There are a couple of potentials here. Now, the most likely scenario is that if a storm develops, it will probably head out from Louisiana out toward Florida. That's because there could be another cool front pushing that off to the east. However, that front may not form. And if that front doesn't form, it is still possible that we could have some impacts to northern Mexico and the Texas coast. So there are still many possibilities beyond a week from today that we will keep you posted about. We're looking well into the future to keep you informed. As for temperatures this morning, we're at 76 degrees in San Antonio, fairly average for this time of year, but it has been in the 60s in the this morning out near Kerrville, Los Maples, even Bernie dipping down into the 60s, but we're well on our way to warming up. By 10, we're going to be at 84. By noon, we'll be at 89. There's that small 10% chance for an afternoon shower. That's still a 90% chance it's not going to rain at your home. So not a good chance for rain, but 100% chance of the heat. It's going to be 97, feeling like 100 degrees out there this afternoon. 95 in Bulverde, 95 in Kerrville. Castroville, you'll be at 97. 97 in Converse and 97 in Floresville. A hot day here in San Antonio. Very hot across the desert Southwest, 109 in Phoenix. But at the same time, this is that time of the year where we start to see cooler air settle in into the north, and that's going to be the case. Highs in the 60s and 70s across a good portion of the northern tier of the United States. But this is that cold core of air, that cool Canadian air that is going to be strong enough to move into North Texas. Unfortunately, it's not going to have enough oomph to make it to San Antonio, but areas on Tuesday in North Texas going to be in the 60s and 70s for the high. We're still going to be at 98 degrees on Tuesday, but that front will allow for a couple of downpours Tuesday night into Wednesday. About a 30% chance for us to see some rain, and temperatures could dip into the low 90s on Wednesday. So thing to keep in mind is that, again, we're going to be watching the tropics carefully with highs near 100 degrees dipping into the low 90s by Wednesday. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on GMSA.
Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, we're getting a closer look at a crime prevention program that was put on by San Antonio Police and UTSA. We're going to take you inside the apartment complex where this was put to the test.
I like this.
Hey Devin, what are you doing? Just having one of my favorite donuts from San Antonio, and we here at KSAT want to hear your favorites in San Antonio. That's why voting for KSAT's SA Picks is open. Check out all the different categories you can vote for your favorites around town, whether it's your favorite gym, your favorite food, your favorite kind of food, heck, even your favorite museum. It's all here online at KSAT.com. If you want to vote for it, just go to the link in our bio and you'll get a chance, because we want to know what's the best of the best in Alamo City.
Thanks, Devin. You can scan your screen, that QR code, and vote now for your favorite SA picks. All right, artificial intelligence can now be used to help you find your missing pet.
Oh, that's so great. A San Antonio pet owner found her missing dog by using AI. So the program she used is called Love Lost. The chief of staff at Petco, Love, says more than 100,000 pets have been reunited with their owners using their AI-powered tools.
The free database has partnered with thousands of shelters across the country. Just by uploading some pictures, the AI tool uses it to find a match to ultimately reunite pets with their owners. You can read more about this program, especially if you have a missing little pet out there. We have the link on KSAT.com.
See, I know people are afraid, some people are afraid of AI, but I do think it's just going to increase our capacity and we can use it as a tool, right?
If it's in a positive way.
Everything, I agree.
Too much of everything can become a
small chance for rain this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, with the approach of a cool front, but it's not going to get all that much cooler. Highs in the low 90s by Wednesday.
Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for watching us.
And let's start the petition to get a Waffle House